Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today I want to talk to you about Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team, and specifically the Warhammer community article that was recently posted about the ITC, which is Independent Tournament Circuit. For those of you unaware, it uses the BCP app, which is Best Coast Pairings app. You put your details in there, you run your tournament through it, and then at the end of the day, you get an ITC score, which goes towards something. That something is the big LVO Las Vegas Open, which is currently going on as I record this, but by the time I release this video, probably isn't anymore, which is like their grand finale of the year. ITC has been picked up, sponsored by, not quite sure, partnered now with, affiliated, etc., with Games Workshop officially. They're calling it Warhammer Events. And I just wanted to have a chat about this because when I saw this, I thought, oh, that's good, cool. But there are negatives to it. But of course, before I dive into it, I would like to say that if you're a subscriber to my channel, I'd like to give you a big double hello. Wow. So wholesome, wasn't it? If you want that in the next video, like, subscribe, leave a comment right now. And so I wanted to hear your thoughts on what this means. Now, it says on the web page that it is being done for Warhammer and Sigmar. I dug into things a little bit, and it turns out that they are including, apparently, Warhammer Underworlds, but also Kill Team. So, firstly, that's good news for Kill Team, right? It's one of the, that means they're, it's one of their big events that they're going to be holding. A big game, Kill Team, good. But what does it mean for us? And I just wanted to have a think about that. If you have kind of any points that I am unaware of, please let me know. First, I'm going to tell you what this could mean for us, and then I'm just going to give my thoughts on what it is. So basically, if you play in any Warhammer 40k Kill Team tournament, at the end of it, depending on where you placed, you will get a score, and then if you do a certain number of tournaments in the year, your score goes up. And if you're first in all of these, then you will be invited to an end of year tournament. We don't know what that's going to be for Kill Team because it's slightly less established than 40k. So I'm not really going to speculate about what that means. Oh, also prize support. Yes. So because it's now like officially sponsored by GW, that means that obviously there's a little bit of money and they are willing to fly people out. So if you're, in London, Spain, whatever, presumably the big event is still going to take place in America at the end of the year. And so now GW will fund an invitational of sorts. There's also other things like if you're, one of the top players, then GW might contact you and want to discuss game balance with you. Like they'll essentially make you a little bit of a play tester, if you will. So if you're good at the game, you will have the ability to guide the game. I'm not going to talk about that just yet because that obviously has large implications and there's a huge difference between being good at a game and being a game designer and all this stuff, but whatever, it's not the point. And so just generally, also there's going to be official prize support from GW. Does that mean that your local game store is going to have to buy the official Games Workshop tournament pack? And that's prize support, and they've actually just prepared a pack for you, which is something that GW has done in the past. It's called I can't remember what it's called, but they did it for the old edition of Kill Team. That's why lots of people have those coins as their medals. They did it for Underworlds, I know. They did it for Warcry. And yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing, and that's kind of it. Okay, that's all we really know. That's all we really know. That's the details done for right now. They even say right at the top of the article, the headline for now: taking part in official Warhammer events will earn you ITC points. There you go. So this is, if you've never been to Warhammer World or like an official GW store, you've you probably don't care because nothing changes for you. But now, if you have access to one of these tournaments that is officially sponsored by GW, which isn't many, well, they're going to give you ITC points. ITC points. When I went to Warhammer World, they ran it through BCP. So like they were running everything that way already, and everybody could see online your results. They just didn't give you ITC points for it, which is fine. And that's all. So there's no real functional change for Warhammer World for Games Workshop at this point. They've aligned themselves. We all know how well their Warhammer Plus app is. That's real good. Now they've aligned themselves with BCP, which is another good app, let's just say, with no history of troubles. So that's good stuff. Okay, I'm being a little bit unfair on BCP there. BCP's fine. It's clumsy with its UI, and it's not the most intuitive thing, but it's fine. Like, it had one bad year where it just crashed and screwed LVO and like thousands of people, but after that it was fine. So let's talk about what this means for Kill Team. And of course, I'm just going to speculate wildly here, as is standard Glass Half Dead tactics. I don't know. I just want to talk about, like, there is now a point to be a competitive player. And I don't know how to feel about that. Like, it's good. It's good. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done this. It's fine. But in the past, I have always thought of myself as, like, you know, what do I want to get from Kill Team? Do I want to be a competitive player? Do I want to just be a content creator? Do I want to become a streamer? Do I want to host tournaments? Like, do I want to be a TO? Do I just want to play casual games and narrative and then just, like, make fun videos about it? Or what? And now, and basically, in that thought process decision tree, being a competitive player was never at the top of my list. I wanted to have acceptable results in tournaments, but purely for street cred, so that I could start talking about the game on my YouTube channel, and people wouldn't just say, "Oh, well, he sucks," so I don't listen to him. Because I didn't want that hassle. I figured, well, might as well be at least good at the game so that I can do this. And so yeah, but like the idea of being good at the game just so that I was good at the game never really, it's not my motivation, I suppose. But now that motivation is there, potentially. Maybe it is for you guys. Are you seeing this and like, you know what? Yes, I think I'm a good player, and I think if I work a little bit harder, I could be the best player. I think I'm in that category. And because of that, I want to help guide the game. I want to get that prize support. I want to be winning all of those first places because I want that free flight out to LVO every year. Like, is that... Obviously, there's only like 2 or 3 people per country that is like possible for, you know? But I think there's also the aspiration there as well. Like, the idea of... And this is certainly something I feel, less so with Kill Team, but with a lot of things, like, it's good to know that the aspiration exists, or the reward exists, and that can be aspirational for you. So, for example, knowing that it is now possible to be a good Kill Team player, and you get rewarded officially for that, might be enough to have some people that were kind of on the fence and enjoying the game, but like, yeah, whatever, to suddenly start saying, you know what? I'm going to go to a tournament. Because maybe that'll be me. Maybe I'll enjoy the tournament, and I think I'm a decent player already, and then, because I now know there is an official reward, which is, you know, a plane ticket, let's just say that's like the big thing. There's that plane ticket at the end of every year. Well, you know what? Actually, yeah, I want to get that. I am now going to go to the tournaments that I can, and I'm actually going to do tournament prep, and I'm actually going to practice packets, and I'm actually going to get the correct terrain I need so that I know exactly what I'm going into and all this stuff. Whereas before they were just like, there's a tournament, but I don't know, whatever, I'm busy that day, and skip it. Or they'd go to the tournament, but they just consider it as a casual, yeah, I'm just going to chill out, have a few games, no big deal. I'm also interested what this is going to do for TOs. And are TOs now going to be saying, right, we need to get on this, because suddenly, I think there's some, if not reward, but like support for TOs now as well. Who knows, right? This article was very loose about what exactly it was going to be. Like, what does this mean for TOs? Does it mean that we are going to have more TOs attempting to run tournaments? Fingers bloomin' crossed. Hopefully this means we're going to have a slightly easier to navigate, a more centralized location to figure out where kill team tournaments are happening, hopefully of a certain size, because yes, you can just go on BCP. We're not going to have any additional events that weren't linked with BCP because you have to be using the BCP app to get the ITC scores. But maybe now all of these small little local game stores around the world are going to start actually posting their BCP tournaments so we can see more. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I am interested. That's all. I'm interested in the effect this will have on the game. I don't think it's bad. Look, I could have made this video saying all of the negatives about GW attempting to take over the independent tournament circuit. But the truth is that, you know, GW used to host all of the tournaments and then they just went away for a decade, in which time the ITC popped up, and now they've come back. And I don't think it's fair to characterize them as taking it over. That's not what they're doing. They're partnering. That's fine. And like, for a very long time, people wanted Games Workshop to come back, and they would actively say this is a negative, that GW is not guiding the community, the competitive community. And now they are. And we can look at the pros and cons with things like card games. Obviously, you can look at how Wizards of the Coast manages all of that side of things, how Fantasy Flight, although now I guess Atomic Mass Games, handles that sort of things. Like, it's been done a lot in real life gaming circles already. So we can see all of that. And I don't think this is the internet and we are geeks. A lot of people are going to have a lot of negatives to say, but I don't think any of them hold much water. They're a change and people don't like change, obviously, but like, this is probably just a positive. I didn't really want to make this video about the pros and cons of GW coming in. I'm sure we know where we can find those videos being made by those people, content creators that just simply refuse to see the positive in anything GW does. But I do think this will be a positive change. My real question is, how much of a positive change? There you go. That's, I don't know, I'm excited. Obviously, as a content creator that often talks about kill team and tournaments, and I try to scrape as much data from tournaments as I can to try and throw it in the playtester's face and say, look, I amalgamated the last 10 tournaments that were above 20 players and the results are pretty defining. We can see what's actually happening. Are we going to fix this in a data slate? What's happening? You know, like, that's something I enjoy doing. And then on the side, I try to make content out of it. That's the way round it works, by the way. It's not the other way around. You know, like, I think that this is a good thing, and yeah, there you go. I'm done. Anyway, guys, there you go. Obviously I didn't have a huge point to this video. I just thought it was an interesting thing from a competitive standpoint. And Kill Team's competitive scene is still relatively small. So this is cool that they've decided to include Kill Team along with 40k, which is obviously a far more established competitive community. And if you made it to the end of the video, of course, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Chef's kiss of wholesomeness. Delightful. Anyway, guys, I hope you've had a good day. Continue to have a good day.